This is Josiah Plays Tyranny. Alright, we're here in the court of Tunon the Fate... No, not the Fate Binder. Tunon the Archon of Justice. We're in his court. We're talking to the other Fate Binders right now. These are our co-workers, our fellow members of our profession. And we're going to talk to the next one. We've talked to None of All. He was interesting. We're going to talk to Fate Binder Callio now. Regards, Serafina. You look as if you need something. Callio tips her head to one side, a glimmer of curiosity in her dark, discerning eyes. What can I do for you? Callio touches a gentle hand to your shoulder. She automatically seems a lot nicer than the other guy was. Has anything happened while I was away? None of all was dispatched to Stalwart to break the stalemate between the locals and the disfavored. He proclaimed Kairos' Edict of Storms, shattering the country with winds unending. Ah, anything happened while I'm away is another one I can repeat. You know what, this suddenly makes me wonder how many times in the game were there things that you could click it multiple times and get different answers, and I didn't even notice. Now do I have to start clicking every single dialogue thing multiple times to see if I get different answers? Certain ones are sort of obvious, like these ones were seem less sort of obvious that I was going to get multiple things, but, you know, it should stay lit up if you're going to get different answers. Hey, Quebec, how you doing? I'm just getting to Tunon. I mean, I just had the very first chat with Tunon. He invited me to go back and talk to him. And I haven't gone to talk to him because I'm talking to these people. There have been whispers that Cairn grew disloyal to Graven Ash's command during the campaign in Azure. I took up the mantle of investigation near Planescape, and judging the rumors to be true, dispatched Cairn by proclaiming Kairos' Edict of Stone. The very earth turned against the traitorous Archon as the region split asunder in righteous judgment. Has anything else happened while I was away? The war between the disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus has been a bureaucratic nightmare, as I'm sure you can imagine. The court can't be seen to openly favor one side or the other, so Tunon and his Fate Binders play at impartiality. Though you seem to operate on a longer leash these days, don't you? Tunon shows you great favor. A smile flickers to the corner of her mouth, then vanishes. Has anything else happened while I was away? That's the same thing. Alright, she's not saying anything new now. You seem to know much of my actions. Have you been spying on me? Don't act so surprised. It's my duty to ensure that those who operate under the Adjudicator's name adhere to the spirit of his law, if not the very letter. And those who don't? Will be dealt with, swiftly and efficiently, at the point of Mark's blade. She's a member of the Purple Guild from... I think she's part of the Purple Guild from, Masquerada. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to restart the game just yet, Saito. Not just yet. Well, no, they were saying I was special for casting 2 edicts. Obviously, lots of Fate Binders have cast an edict. Hope you get to kill Tunon. I don't see that happening. You never know, though. He could be like the final boss of the game or something. Will be dealt with, swiftly and efficiently, at the point of Mark's blade. The Fate Binder slips a slim dagger from the folds of her purple garb, flipping the weapon almost idly in the air. Of course, that is assuming I don't dispatch them first. I take my duty seriously, and I am very, very good at it. How have you occupied your time in the Bastard City? Tunon sends me on assignments here and there. I settle disputes between the locals when the Adjudicator is otherwise occupied. She smirks. Everything from trade disagreements to pushing chorus squatters out of basements. Real rewarding work. She waves it off. The glory of war is not an honor reserved for the likes of us. We're the fish swimming in Tunan's wake, picking up scraps along the way. We're rather large and imposing compared to the bottom feeders of the tiers, but fish all the same. Of course, I have nothing to hide. So you say, but I have to weigh all evidence presented before me with an objective eye. Assume you are being watched, Fatebinder, but don't concern yourself. There's no more than any citizen of the Empire can expect. She's the Fatebinder of killing people, apparently. I'd like to know more about Tunon. Tunon is our overlord's fair and exacting adjudicator. He speaks with the voice of Kairos' law, and his word is judgment. All of this and more you can learn by asking him yourself. Go on, or does he intimidate you still? He chuckles softly. I jest, of course. I have some concerns about the war. You are free to share them in my confidence. She leans in closer. Let's see, what are my concerns? Bloodshed and brutality reign supreme. Peace cannot follow such cruelty. Such is the price of conquest. We will bring order to a land ruled by greed and corruption. When we have shown them the true way of Kairos, the masses will weep their gratitude and beg for our favor. She nods to the assembled nobles in the entry hall. It has already begun. Our armies squabble at each other's throats. Divided, we cannot win. I'm less concerned about the armies and the Archons themselves. There can be no order when mountains collide. Who would you see as champion? Neither. Neither. They're both at fault and equally inept. Her mood darkens. And then who would lead our advances or be left to deliver Kairos' peace? Would you wear this responsibility as a crown upon your head? You may find it a heavy burden to bear. You misunderstand my intent. The Fatebinder studies you with a knowing eye. Do I? Farewell. We talked to two of the Fatebinders. So she did the Edict of Stone, he did the Edict of Storms, I did the Edict of Fire. I don't think that leaves any edict for Rogalis to have done, in the tiers anyway. Fatebinders aren't necessarily... Yeah, just the one guy said he was the Fatebinder of War, whatever that means. What about Rogalis? What's Rogalis' deal?
Fatebinder, you return!
Rogalis looks you up and down with an inscrutable expression.
You look as if you have questions for me to untangle. Ask, I am feeling generous.
Tell me about some of the past Archons.
Rin, the second Archon of Lightning, often struggled to control the power that roiled within him. He suffered but a single slip of concentration. He risked an instant electrocution to his touch. Or so he claimed after killing the first Archon of Water during a diplomatic embrace.
That's fucked up. Oops, I accidentally electrocuted you. It doesn't seem like there's more than 3 edicts in action, eh? Well, not in the tiers, no. Obviously there's more edicts in action in other places.
Morimus of the Mire, the Archon of Fungus.
Okay, that's a lame thing to be the Archon of. All these other Archons are of something pretty fucking cool. But when you're the Archon of Fungus, you gotta be like, if I had to be an Archon, why did I have to be this one?
The Archon of Fungus produced most of the flora in the swampland of Nettlebog. A stooped hermit who rather resembled a dapperling, whatever the fuck a dapperling is. He was never once reported to have left his swamp. Some believe he still lives within the land, though there's been no sighting of him in nearly 300 years.
Tell me about some more Archons.
No one is entirely sure how many Archons Kairos has killed, but I would guess it numbers several dozen or more based on the various histories I've been able to piece together. Nox Maria, the Archon of Pestilence, was disliked in her circles. When she opened her eyes to see and her mouth to speak, it is said that flies would gust into the air, swarming so thick as to blacken the sky. She died in the 20th year of her birth, following a string of unusual and grotesque symptoms. Ew, that's another one that would not have been a good Archon to be. That's even worse than the Archon of Fungus. Archon of Fungus, such a fun guy. Nice, nice. More Archons? Much that was known has been lost regarding the first Archon of Frost, but his talents were improved upon by 3 following Archons, sisters born together and never since seen apart. It is said Rana, Nirabel, and Slayer were so cold at birth that they were thought stillborn. Archon of Shrooms. The Archon of 420 Blazeit is... Tell me about some of the past Archons. I've told you all that I wish. If you would tax my time further, ask about something else.
Where did you study when you were younger?
I've been a ward of the court for as long as I've been aware. As a child, I demonstrated wholly perfect recall, and I absorbed all that Tudon and my tutors had to deliver.
This guy's basically Saito. All that cow stuff was just a front?
I remember hating all the lectures and wishing I could learn at my pace. Funny how I envy the sages of the Tears, how they could spend their whole lives reading and never exhaust their library. Of course, now the Vellum Citadel is nothing more than a burning waste.
What do you think about the other Fatebinders?
No need to be more specific than that, I'm afraid. There is, on last count, slightly more than a handful of us.
See, some of these Fatebinders are Fatebinders of something. What's your opinion of the Fatebinder of War?
Nunnaval's keen, brash, and a hearty braggart, with a fondness for bloodshed. He can be utterly unbearable at times. His justice is fair, even if he skews toward rather exacting and uncompromising punishments at times.
What's your opinion of the Fatebinder of Balance?
Callio is the finest among us. Her discernment is beyond reproach, and she is perhaps Tudon's favorite. She has a mind for suspicion and observation that makes others uneasy. We who operate within the confines of the law have nothing to fear, of course.
I don't know about drugs, Anonymous. Probably, though. Probably. Kairos' laws seem to be pretty much free of corruption and nonsense that benefits one part of society over another, and pretty much laws against drugs are all about corruption, so... Hunan just needs some weed, yo. That's what his third mask was. It was the dank mask. What's your opinion of me?
Whatever it may have been, it's reduced of late.
Rogalis pierces you with a severe look.
No matter why you lent your favor to the southern barbarians, it has cast you in the darkest suspicion. Be advised, Fatebinder, your objectivity is in question. We will be watching.
Let's talk about something else. The Archon of Dank Memes, yeah. I almost said that. Can you tell me about the Old Walls and the Bane? Seems like a weird question to ask this guy.
With which should I start?
Tell me about the Old Walls.
We know little enough about the ancient structures, save that they predate all historical record. The forbidding ruins crisscross the Tears and North alike centuries before we raised our cities. The only one old enough to guess is likely Kairos.
Tell me about the Bane.
The Bane are found in the Old Walls, but much of their defining qualities still escape me. They are creatures of smoke, claw, and fang. If you find yourself unfortunate enough to fight one, remember that spells are effective against them, but grab the attention of others lurking near.
Yeah, that seems like a problem. Let's discuss something else.
As you will.
I'd like to know more about the tiers.
The political entities of the tiers are essentially split between the Bastard tier, the Younger Realms, and the Free Cities. Of which would you like to know?
I don't think there's encyclopedia entries about the other Fatebinders. I don't remember seeing them in there. Let's just take a look real quick. I really don't think there are, though. No, just Fatebinder, and all of the Archons have a thing. And Tunon, but nothing about the various types of Fatebinders. Or the various specific Fatebinders. What can you tell me about the Bastard tier?
Bastard tier is the most northern of the tiers, and was the first to bow to Kairos' reign, though the knee they bent fell unwillingly. Kairos had his eye on the Bastard tier for many years before he marched on her capital city. This is the hub of trade and commerce. Claim the markets and the people will follow.
I'm curious to know more about the Younger Realms.
The Younger Realms sprawl the middle and southernmost tiers and can be catalogued as follows: Apex, Azure, Haven, and Stalwart. Azure was renowned for its exceptionally fertile land, which fed the whole of the tiers. That was before Kairos' Edict of Stone blighted the land. Stalwart is also worth mention, for it comprises the whole of the southernmost tier, and proves the toughest and most defensible of the realms. It is often said that the other realms will not fall while Stalwart yet stands. The local army wages bitter war against the disfavored, though the Edict of Storms has cut off the best of their defenses. It's only a matter of time before Stalwart falls.
I would like to hear about the Free Cities.
There are 3 free cities remaining: Last Harbor, Spiral's Maw, and Barris in Chains. The first and strongest of the free cities was the Setting Sun, which Kairos crushed in 429 with the Edict of Tumult.
Oh, we just heard about a new edict. A new edict in the tiers that we hadn't heard of before, the Edict of Tumult. Of course, we basically heard nothing about the free cities the whole game. I don't think we get to go to the free cities. I think they're the one part of the tiers that we're not going to get to visit.
After that, the remaining free cities were quick to surrender.
Those people did not mess around with their names. Yeah, I know, right? What should we name our new city that we're starting?
I think we should call it Barris in Chains.
You mean like Alice in Chains?
Yes, but this is Barris.
Okay, sounds good. The Barris in Chains Chamber of Commerce. Back to my previous questions. I want to talk about the sages.
I will not speak of the sages. There are no better...
I love it. I will not speak of the sages, he says. Then he proceeds to speak of the sages for a long-ass time here.
I will not say a single word of the sages, except for the following 100 words. They are no better than charlatans and cons, wholly selfish in their ill pursuit to hoard all knowledge from others. They are self-blinded by their own deceptions and clever manipulations. They alone cause their own undoing and are solely to blame for the burning library, one of the most grievous of wrongs in the known histories for which they can never be forgiven.
They are researching forbidden lore, so I think we've learned that Kairos forbids things that might lead people to become powerful and learn Kairos' secrets and be able to challenge Kairos. So they were really pissed because those sages were probably onto something as they were studying the old walls and the spires and, you know, the ancient magic. They're probably going to figure something out. And Kairos was like, nope, we can't have that. Because then somebody could rise up to challenge him. Well, him or her. Wish there were more cities like that in the real world. Yeah. We just forgot the languages their names are in? Maybe so. Well. Alright, so we've talked to the other Fate Binders. That was pretty cool. Let's come over here. Let's come over here. Oh, we got some televangelists to talk to over here. All blood chanters have the exact same voice. Let's talk to Blood Mulch. Who the fuck is... Now, this is a guy we haven't met before. Actually, no. Let's talk to Mocking Blaze and Bitterquip first, because we actually know them. There are some cool names like Big Butt Mountain. That's a pretty cool name. I'd immolate you right where you stand if it weren't for Tudon breathing down on X. Hail, Kairos and the voices. If you don't mind, I'm in the middle of something. He ignores you with a stern and distant expression. What about Blood Mulch? Now, is this guy, is he a chanter? Is he a blood chanter? Because I need to know. If he's a blood chanter, he has to do a certain kind of voice. If he's not a blood chanter, I think he is one. Because he's got that magical staff looking thing. I think he's a blood chanter. I'll try to make his a little bit different, though.
Fate Binder, you're no stranger to Tudon's court, but I prefer to spend as little time here as possible. In spite of these closed walls, I feel strangely exposed.
He glances up at Tunon.
If you're ever feeling generous, feel free to send a few healthy oath breakers to the voices. We can always use fodder for the front lines, only if it doesn't cause too many problems with your new alliance. You'll make our time in the tiers an interesting one, won't you?
He smiles for an uncomfortably long time.
Of course you will. You gave me something during the conquest. Tidecaster elders to interrogate.
Oh, that's the thing that Ab is still super pissed at me about. Ab's gotta love this being brought up.
Now I'll give you something in return.
He whispers an arcane symbol in your ear, one that you won't soon forget. That's great. They unfriended me on Facebook. Yeah. There's also Cockburn Town, the capital of the Turks and Kaiko's territory. There's a town in Arkansas named Rooster Poot. Fifth Eye promised me Blood Chanter lore for services rendered. Tell him I'm still awaiting payment.
Perhaps you should have waited until the two of you settled this debt before raising a hand against the chorus. You'd betray us, then come demanding old favors. You can't possibly expect me to honor such a promise now. What possible reason would I have to...
Looking back toward Tunon, the chorus warrior clears his throat and steadies his posture.
What possible reason would I have to make an enemy of the court?
His hand moves toward his satchel and rifles through the contents.
If a mere bit of parchment will settle matters, it is no imposition. Besides, I rather like the notion of you flattering the chorus by way of imitating our magic.
Ooh, a scroll, Sigil of Blood Magic. Sweet! He hands you a scroll with a pompous flourish.
Study, and study well. The voices of Nerat prefers them educated.
Sigil of Emotions? Holy shit, I just learned a completely new core. Oh my god. We're gonna spend the next fucking 20 minutes looking at the spells again. Sigil of Emotions. The energies evoked by the Sigil of Emotions both fortify and undermine the mental humors, creating passions in the target ranging from apathy to blinding rage. The blood chanters of the Scarlet Chorus are the self-professed masters of the Sigil of Emotions, having developed the technique through study of Siren, Archon of Song. What can I make with this? I can make Enraged Mind. It makes the target enraged, which makes them an ass-beating machine. Causes an ally to fly into a rage. Ally gains the enraged affliction. Okay, that's pretty cool. I can't make it AoE though. It doesn't last very long either. Okay, what else can I do with the pink sigil? Haunting Jest does a little bit of raw damage. Ooh, it's an actual taunt. I was like, why would I want to use this? I'm a mage, I don't want to taunt them. But I could give this fucking spell to Verse, and she would have a taunt in addition to her other taunt. This isn't the blood magic, Anonymous. The blood magic was an accent sigil. I don't know how to use it. Hold on a second. Not it. I had a thing. He taught me two things, because first he taught me about the emotions thing in the chat, and then I don't know how to use the. Oh wait, I haven't even learned the scroll yet. That's why I can't find it. The scroll contains a magical accent which increases the amount of damage a spell inflicts at the cost of the caster's health. That's the blood magic thing. Sigil of blood magic. Okay, let's just take a look. Like, let's say we look at one of our damage spells, Fireball, and we wanted to put blood magic on it. Oh, hell no. That spell, that thing is terrible. Look how much damage it does to you for the amount of damage you get added to your spell. So not worth it. So not worth it. Yeah, that's a crappy sigil. Yeah, it does some extra damage, but you take a big fucking chunk of damage for that. 27 points of damage. Or 26. That's a lot, man. My people only have like 100 and some hit points. You've expected necromancy, domination, vampirism. So the blood magic lets you make a spell do more damage, but it hurts you. Okay, so no, but back to the emotion spells. Haunting Jest. Okay, so that gives you an actual taunt, a ranged taunt. I could put that on Verse. Does a little bit of damage. It even has a small AoE, which you can make bigger with. Fire a bolt of harassive. Is that a word? Harassive? Harassive energy, filling the target with hatred and taunting them to attack. So I could make it do more damage. I could make it have a longer range. I could make it... Unfortunately, Verse doesn't have very high lore, so I couldn't improve this very much right now. But I mean, if I increased it to 2-meter radius, I could get multiple enemies in that taunt. But she doesn't have enough lore for that. But I could put the duration on there, and she's got just enough lore for that. So Taunting Jest is good. I'm gonna take off her self-heal. We have enough heals. I'm gonna take off her self-heal and give her Taunting Jest instead. Okay, what else? Wave of Despair. Move speed fatigued and dazed. Wow. Do those stack? Because that'd be a 75% recovery increase. That's like pretty significant. It's a cone. That's a long cone too. Wash over enemies with a wave of dispassionate energy. Affected foes with dazed, fatigued, and have reduced movement speed. So it's a slow cone. It's a cone of slowing, is what it is. That's not bad, but okay. Aura of Fear. Alright, allied target is emitting the aura. Causes people to be frightened, which reduces their will. Conjure an aura of fear on the target. Enemies get affected by the aura of frightened. Okay, so most of these are kind of lame. Except for Taunting Jest, which is nice. But I could take... Oh, I can't make this an AoE. Alright, cool. Well, we got one new spell out of that. Cowhead Newfoundland. Nice. Or Newfoundland. Cool. Cowhead's a good name for a town. Also a Cow Springs. I'm sure there's shitloads of towns with the word cow in them, like, worldwide. Alright, so she's got a taunt now. Erasive energy.
Not happening.
And then if I get her this other taunt... I don't even know what I'm doing with her spec. I'm gonna get Nimble too. I know I want that. There are 6 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She's gonna have to spend one more point on something here. I'll get Born of Blood and Fire next. And then I'll get Nimble too. But maybe I should get Mocking Iron first, because that's another taunt. Now that I only have one tank, I have no more Barrack and Barrack's taunt. She's gonna need some taunts. Lightning Reflexes. 50% chance to reflect ranged grazes. That's pretty badass. Burst. Attacks all nearby foes and vanishes, appearing next to her target and leaving behind a spiritual remnant of one of her Scarlet Fury sisters. Oh, that's cool. Too bad both taunts are against will, which makes sense. Yeah, but most things have a really low will from what I've seen so far. Alright, cool. We got a new spell. There's a town in Ontario called Nottawa. Really? It's not Ottawa.
I hope you bring something of interest to this stuffy court of ours.
Be off with you. Alright, let's go back and let's go over here and talk to the disfavored. If you thought the Scarlet Chorus hated me, now these are some people that fucking hate me over here. None of these painted sycophants understood the value of Kairos' law. Here's some people that fucking hate me.
I am duty-bound to remain civil to you in this vaunted court, but don't push it, traitor.
Yeah, they don't like me. Aurora avoids making any eye contact with you, but instead carries on speaking with her company. So this is basically awkward for them now, since I betrayed them. And I killed their leader. Well, not their absolute leader, not the Archon, but their second in command.
Fatebinder?
The lieutenant gives you a curt nod.
I'm ill at ease in this polished hall, but I admit that it's a reprieve from the battlefield and training grounds. If Ash needs me to stay here and represent his interests throughout the occupation, then I'll be up to the task.
Hail Ash and Kairos. Okay, we're done talking to everyone. This is a cool looking place, man. Tunon's pretty awesome. The ornament atop of the throne resembles Tunon's mask. It always seems to meet your gaze, regardless of where you're standing. What's up, Tunon?
This civil war, this feud, is an insult to Kairos' peace. It should not have taken the better part of a year to silence the last vestiges of the Oathbreakers.
Tunon regards you in thoughtful silence. Oh, if I say nothing and don't agree with him, he gets mad. I agree, Your Honor.
Our allies squabble while our enemies regroup. It falls upon the court to measure the extent of the damage, and to execute the agents of disorder. I suspect that treachery, negligence, disunity, and greed have infected one or both of our esteemed allies. Until you are instructed otherwise, this matter is the court's primary focus.
Okay.
Graven Ash and the voices of Nerat must be examined in close detail. You are charged with observing the Archons and presenting your case that one of them has wrought chaos and disorder upon the tiers.
What if both of them wrought chaos and disorder? Oh, number 3 says that. Could they both be guilty?
It's possible, but the momentum of the conquest up to this point suggests otherwise. The failure at Vendrian's Well implies a coordinated will behind the chaos. As always, you will be held accountable for what you do in the court's name, but you are free to conduct your investigation in the manner of your choosing. You must expect lies, misdirection, and manipulation. Suffer not such obstructions of justice.
Suffer not. When he tells me suffer not, that says to me that I can basically kill anyone I want who tries to lie, misdirect, or manipulate in the name of fucking Tunon.
At first, we were not amused by your alliance with the Tearsmen.
Not
But
amused.
there is a logic, a pragmatism to the situation that we are willing to entertain. You deputized our enemies to bring order out of chaos.
That's right, I did. I'm fucking awesome.
So long as you keep them on a tight leash, we will permit this union to continue under your auspices. The opportunity to bring peace through collaboration rather than warfare is one we shouldn't ignore.
I'm on the motherfucker.
But if these Oathbreakers trust you, then take advantage of the connection. If indeed Graven Ash or the voices of Nerot conspire with our enemies, this would explain much of the events in Vendrian's Well and the feud ignited therein.
I will speak with them and learn what they know.
Be careful that you don't invite them too closely into your confidence. I would not empower the rabble by sending a servant of the court to do their bidding. Ensure that your objectives come first in all things.
It could have been 2 years if I waited until after the Day of Swords to deliver the edict. Yeah, Nox, that was amazing.
You see the nobles milling about this court. You hear the anxiety and uncertainty of a conquered people. Day and night I audience declarations of fealty to curry favor. What you don't see are the dungeons beneath the court, and the hundreds of Tearsmen who strained against Kairos' rule.
Dungeons.
I warrant that your Oathbreaker allies know a few of them, whether by blood or by allegiance. Let it be known that their lives are forfeit to the court's mercy, and any action meant to shatter what order we have established will be met with the swiftest reprisal. Blood will flow through these halls. Is that clear?
Abundantly clear, Your Honor.
I'm glad we understand each other. Be sure your new friends understand as well. Do not toy with the locals. Subjugate them if they will serve. Destroy them if they have exhausted their usefulness. I will not permit them to vanish into the tears, there to gather strength with renewed defiance for the Overlord. Your fellow Fatebinders have been busy acting as my eyes and ears. I have a few leads for you to follow. You should, of course, speak with your brothers and sisters of the court if you need further counsel.
Oh, I already talked to them.
The disfavored have made use of the Sage's network of dovecotes and messenger birds as they come under capture. I've heard multiple claims of strategic communications gone missing. The Sages are broken, their citadel in flames, but they were not slaughtered to the last. Some of their numbers still congregate around the smoking husk of their burning library. If they have been reading disfavored communications, learn what they learned, then execute them.
Shit! Learn what they learned, then execute them. You note I have a sage right here with me. Of course, Tunon knows Lantry. Lantry used to work for Tunon as a chronicler. Tunon actually charged Lantry with writing the Chronicle of the Conquest, so they actually know each other.
There is a final matter to discuss. A sensitive topic.
Though it's impossible to gauge from his expression, because we can't see his face because he's got that mask, Tunon seems more wary than usual. What concerns the court, Your Honor?
In spite of the many shortcomings at Vendrian's Well, you managed to make a name for yourself. You proclaimed an Edict of Kairos, resolved its demanding conditions, and ascended the mountain spire. Any one of these feats would be worthy of recognition by the highest authority. You managed to accomplish 3.
Tunon hovers in observance, awaiting a response. Yeah, I'm pretty awesome. Just another day in the life of the Fatebinder. I am in a privileged position to accomplish incredible deeds.
It pleases me that you grasp your role, as long as you temper it with a sense of duty. Whether by design or by accident, you have captured the attention of Kairos' army and the local tiersmen alike. This is no small opportunity, and the court charges you with exploiting your new standing to its fullest potential.
I'm all about exploiting shit.
You have a title in our hierarchy. However, it's a little-known secret that one's standing in the world is determined by their infamy, their deeds, and how they come to be known. Mind this notion as you bring justice to this lawless frontier. There may come a time when your deeds speak for you louder than any title.
Okay, so my reputation's important.
Whatever you did to capture the attention of the masses at Vendrian's Well, I would encourage you to do so again.
Look forward to chaining chaos to my will. Great deeds will define me. Understood. I will be known as a champion of justice.
Good. It falls to us to set a new standard for these southern barbarians. You are dismissed.
Oh, shit.
Should the court have need of your presence, you will receive word. Go forth and do my bidding, and bring glory and honor to the tiers in Kairos' name.
When he dismisses you, he doesn't mess around. Like, he's not Pippi Longstocking. That's not his hair. That's part of his hood. So, here's an important thing that just happened. He told me, do so again, whatever you did to capture the attention. What I did was side with the rebels. What I did was betray the two armies. What I did was try to rise up against Kairos and be treasonous against them with the rebels. And he just told me to do it again. So from now on, all siding with rebels is something that Tunon told me to do. I'm just following orders. All murdering of Scarlet Chorus and Disfavored that I do from here on, Tunon told me to do it. Tunon wraps his gravel against the floor. Oh, here we go. Even Tunon's gotta do it. Everybody that's holding some kind of stick or staff or something has to fucking bang that shit to the ground. Everybody. Shit just got real. I know, right, Anonymous? The singular note resounding throughout the hall. Oh god, and he's... Oh, did I just level up again? Oh no, just first leveled up. We just got a grip of XP, though. And a bunch of quests and stuff. A Trial of Archons. Is that the next George R.R. Martin book? Quest completed. The Voice of Kairos. Tunon is displeased by the quarrel between the Scarlet Chorus and the Disfavored. He believes one of the Archons unfit to rule. He suggested you meet with one of them to investigate this suspicion further. Okay. That's complete. So I've got 3 quests now. Stirring Visions. Need to go to Lethian's Crossing Spire. Tunon is displeased with the chaos that emerged from Vendian's Well, and believes that one of the warring Archons may be principally responsible for the civil war that now grips the tiers. As you travel the Younger Realms, take note of any evidence of negligence, incompetence, or outright treason found within the Disfavored or Scarlet Chorus. All uncovered evidence for Graven Ash will be here, all uncovered evidence for Nerat will be here, and I already found some. During the conquest, the Scarlet Chorus desired the knowledge of captured sages. Ah. Do we have any idea of what Tunon's power is, besides his ability to bring a fog machine with him wherever he goes? I don't know. We don't know. Nothing's been said about what his power is. Every so often his head pokes out from behind the throne and quickly ducks away. That would be funny. Siding with the Vendrian Guard in the Well earns you a lot of new enemies. However, your former enemies might now be your greatest allies. If you were to continue the alliance you created with the Vendrian Guard, you will need to work with them to create order in the tiers. Speak with Tarkus Ari. She awaits your arrival in the Ascension Hall. To foster the new alliance you have with the rebels, speak with her and determine what your next steps should be. Alright, so I need to go back and talk to Ari, and I need to go to Lethian's Crossing. That's the things I need to do. Biography hasn't changed. Verse is leveled up. Let's get some more finesse. And let's get oh, do I want to get this or do I want to get Mocking Iron? Maybe I should get Mocking Iron first. And then get Born of Blood and Fire and Nimble 2. Let's get Mocking Iron first. And now she's got that to put on her bar as well.
No dice.
Okay, good. So she's got 2 taunts. One on a 34-second cooldown, and one on an 18-second cooldown. So that'll be good. Feels too easy, too much is forgiving, something is fishing here. Yeah, I don't know. I was expecting him to be a little bit more angry with me, but... You know, I guess I explained it to him and everything's fine.
Will do.
Well, I think the rebels are fighting to not be Kairos' subjects. I don't know how they fucking think they're gonna pull that off. Oh, he's back here. Can I talk to him some more? What's up, Tunok, Tunok, Tunon?
You return. It is gratifying to see that the war has not caused you to forget your roots. What is it you wish to know?
Tell me about Kairos. Oh, because I have favor with him. He's like, yep.
Kairos is our overlord. She ushers us from the brink of chaos with a stern hand.
He just said she. He just said she. That's the first official person that would have any fucking way of knowing that's put a pronoun on Kairos. So maybe Kairos is female, straight up.
She ushers us from the brink of chaos with a stern hand and gestures to the way of peace. We are only too eager to follow in her perfect example.
How old is Kairos?
By our reckoning, her age upon Tyranny is magnificent. Her true span defies measurement by our limited construct of time. It would be a waste to spend our few pitiable years attempting to solve that riddle of existence.
So, pretty old then.
Think of Kairos not as subject to beginnings or endings. Kairos is, and Kairos will ever be.
Alright, I think he's bullshitting right now. I don't think Kairos is fucking ageless and eternal and all that crap. What is your relationship to Kairos?
She is my master, and I her dutiful pupil. In this respect, you and I are no different. I have the honor of Kairos' confidence. She trusts me to enact her law upon the boundless territory of her rule. I am only too grateful to serve.
Oh, I want to ask these questions even though he's not going to like them. Do you think Kairos' laws are fair?
That is an irrelevant question. Kairos is law. It is the responsibility of fairness to conform to Kairos' definition of it. And anyone who believes otherwise is an agent of anarchy.
The concept of fairness has to conform to what I say, not the other way around. Nice.
Contemplate this as you deliver Kairos' peace to the frontier. If you fail to understand the importance and immutability of Kairos' law, then your work is but a perversion of justice.
I couldn't help but notice that you refer to Kairos as a woman. He's not going to like this, but that's okay.
Beware of that trajectory of thought. Save for her perfection, there is little about Kairos to which we could ascribe recognizable attributes. A power as distant and unknowable as the Overlord should transcend our petty dualities.
Alright, so confirmed Kairos doesn't subscribe to the gender binary. Let me ask you about something else. Oh, he said something else.
Male, female, it makes no difference. Kairos is mother to us all.
Let me ask you about something else.
Ask, but be cautious with your time. The tears do not rest.
And we will continue our discussion with Tunon and asking him the questions. I finally get to talk to Tunon. I'm so excited. They built this guy up so much, and I've been waiting to talk to him, because he's the guy that knows shit. Everybody else is like, we don't really know. He knows shit. So it's exciting to be talking to Tunon, and we will continue talking to him in our next episode. But that's going to do it for this one. If you're watching the stream, then know this. I am not done playing. I'm going to continue. Know this. If you're watching on YouTube, then that brings us to the end of our episode. So thank you for watching. This has been Josiah Plays Tyranny.